Rook, welcome to the Hossberg wetlands. I'd say make yourself comfortable.
This place is...
Foreboding?
Yes. Well, foreboding is normal here, but it's worse than usual.
The Blight's always a problem in the Anderfells. It's not strange to find a corrupted patch of forest or swamp.
What is strange is the sudden surge of blight through the Hossberg wetlands. Much like the village you found, the blight here struck too quickly, and in strange forms.
It's choked the whole area, and the local village, Lavendel, was caught in it. But they're survivors. We can be grateful for that.
Damn it. I said things were different.
We know.
We're trying to prove the same thing.
As far as we can tell, the gods you're chasing weren't here directly.
If the Blight's really changed, then the changes are widespread. As for how much?
I can almost sense something in there. Another sound under the Blight's usual song.
Stories say wardens sense blight. I never thought it was literal.
It happens when you join the Order. But that's more than I should say.
When we met, you tried to block the sound out. Now you hear too much.
If it helps, that's what we're here for.
Become a warden, hear the blight. And people assume crow initiations are intense.
I assumed they were murderers.
Oh, I walked into that. So what's the plan?
We heard rumors of the surge here and volunteered to investigate. The first warden expects a report. Soon.
If we want proof the Blight's changed, then this place is where to find it.
But the way the Blight left the village, we've had our hands full just keeping it back and helping the sick.
You need more to study.
Yes. The odd growths the Blight has formed, like boils, they surround Lavendel. I need more samples.
So you two study the blight?
Formally? No. Well, maybe. It depends on your definition.
We travel a lot, and tend to get sidetracked by weird problems.
Who knew I'd roam so far for Morlaix? If we want to help, we need to learn what we're dealing with.
Samples. That's gonna be... gross? That's probably the best word for it.
I'll give you something to contain the Blight. And watch for Darkspawn out there.
Right. Darkspawn. Can't forget them.
Good luck.
All right. Let's find those boil samples. Looks like there's caves on the far side of the village. We can start there.
Lavendel Village? The wetlands? It's like Demeter's Crossing all over again.
It's still standing. And I'll fight to keep it that way.
Got a sample. I'm guessing they'll need more than one.
Knowing how Antoine experiments. Yes.
Got the sample. Got it.
First at Demeter's Crossing, now Lavendel. This could be the whole world.
I've never seen a surge like this.
Check out the ballista. Could be useful.
You just want to shoot stuff.
Manoga.
I think it sensed us attacking the boils. It's not happy. Right.
It's down. And another sample.
That should be enough to study.
Yeah. Let's get back to Evka and Antoine.
Antoine? Antoine!
Yes? Yes, the Blight samples. They're like nothing we've seen, or anything in the Warden records. And I almost hear voices in it. The gods calling the Blight.
I can't hear anything. But if you believe me...
We knew things were bad. But if the Blight's being called, the situation's more unpredictable than we thought. We need to...
I give you two Rain, and this is where it leads. Chasing Rook's lies.
First Warden,
Stay away from the Blight and the Wardens. How many times must you be told?
Until you listen, I'll be here.
Not helping. Rook knew something was wrong.
I can hear it in the samples. The gods. She's telling the truth. The Blight has changed. And that changes everything.
It changes nothing. Your sensitivity to Blight is useful, Warden Antoine. But you've had more than one snake in your ear.
He's trying to help.
Enough! You tampered with a ritual that unleashed Blight. You did not know what you were doing then, and you don't now.
If gods control the Blight, we need to change how we approach it.
Archdemons control Blight, and we'd sense if one had risen. We'd make the sacrifices needed to fight it.
But we...
The Blight has increased. Now is not the time to lose focus. Wardens Evka and Antoine, are you sworn to combat the Blight?
Yes, but...
Then report back to Weishaupt and do so.
That went poorly, even for a talk with him.
What an asshole. A lot of people are gonna die for his arrogance.
Maybe.
So much for convincing the Wardens.
We can't give you the order, but you have us.
We'll keep tracking the Darkspawn and the Blight. We'll do what we can.
And if we learn the gods' plans, you will too.
The elven god of monsters had been hard at work. She'd taken the Darkspawn and made them so much worse. Now, she and Elgar'nan had their glorious new army. The risen gods were ready. And they had just the target.
Thank you again for coming. My duties include tending to these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
It's like being in a very, very specialized museum.
Yes, but the purpose of the tableau...
Wait, did one just move?
That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
Seems disrespectful to abandon something you built.
Precisely. No wonder there's been an uptick in hauntings.
Wait, what?
Let's continue. Would you care to light the candle, Rook? Look at this. The last tomb of the Tannhausens. A very influential family in the Storm Age.
We broke the bones of dragons.
A posthumous motto. Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon? I'm surprised there was enough to bury.
Do you know, I never expected that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around?
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle? Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants.
Alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
If you ever want a side job, the crows are always looking for new potions.
Yes, as I recall, you're rather famous for it. This way, Rook.
You were right about the gardens being peaceful.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places are a refuge for the dead.
How many people are buried here anyway?
Excellent question. We rarely should take a new census. You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. I was pleasantly surprised by your respect for our undead tableau earlier, Rook. I'm beginning to think people outside Navarra find the necropolis a little unnerving.
Crows have plenty of ceremony, believe me.
Ah, look here.
Hi? Should I say hi?
It's curious about you. We're also enjoying the gardens, but with one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh.
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
They thought the necropolis was the best place for an orphan?
Better to learn death dwells all about us than be deaf when it calls. Yet, I was terrified of everything when I arrived.
And you still joined the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Please, light the next candles if you would. There's much to recommend about the rhythm of a ceremony. It eases our worst hours. As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality. All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites. I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before. We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body?
Yes, he's taken so well to it. Haven't you, Manfred? Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell. Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
Hail from the abyss.
We witness, good watcher, faith kept in all our paths.
What was...
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship. We'll need to ring the bell once more to close out the departing ceremony.
So you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
I'm more of a punch first, debate that never person.
Oh, I wish I'd had your fortitude when I was younger. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying. It goes beyond dread. can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, sunlit streets, a raw, strangling fear struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered. Manfred's right. That's maudlin enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves. And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
That sounds great. Thanks.
Would you mind letting Manfred pour? He does so love seeing the steam rise from the cups.
Rook, just got word. First Warden's calling everyone back to Weishaupt. Everyone except me, seems like. Guess the First Warden didn't like me joining your team.
Calling wardens back from all over Thedas is a big step. Did he give any reason why?
Not exactly, but I've heard rumors of a massive Darkspawn horde on the move. Even hearing there's an archdemon with them.
The timing can't be a coincidence. The gods must be behind this.
I bet they are. Rook, if the gods have an archdemon, Warden lore says archdemons only show up during a blight. Doesn't say anything about elven gods. Seems like the rules have changed, and we're going in blind. We need to know what we're up against.
I'll talk to Solus. See if he knows anything about any of this. Make sure the others are ready to move.
With all my regards, but I don't want them to think me homesick.
Hi, Emmerich.
Rook, hello. Just composing a few letters. The other Watchers have been most interested in our adventures.
So, I've heard people call necromancers mortalitasi. What's the difference between them and the Mornwatch?
Oh, all Navaran necromancers are mortalitasi. The Watchers are a special order within them.
Very fancy.
We've certain privileges and attendant responsibilities.
What's the Mornwatch do?
Our first duty is safekeeping the Grand Necropolis and preparing the funerary dead. Another is stopping misuse of dark magic and necromancy.
Must keep you busy.
Not often, but on occasion.
What's the Grand Necropolis like?
Its Majesty has stilled the tongues of kings and queens. It's a haven for spirits and the dead, a vast well of history, the duty and shelter of every Watcher. We who serve it are pledged to an eternal vigil.
What do Watchers, watch for?
There are stranger and more dangerous things than spirits in the Fade, Rook. The Watchers stand against them when their shadows rise.
Anything lately?
A few portents I cannot put down solely to the chaos of the elven gods, but nothing definitive. Perhaps only shivers in the void.
I couldn't help overhearing the word homesick.
Oh, I'm fine. Completely absorbed in our venture. But if I were home, I'd be preparing for new students or requests to speak to the dead.
Can people just ask you to show up for some corpse whispering?
Oh, nothing official. There are very few of us, but we help here and there. Questioning a victim of murder, clearing up disputed wills, and sometimes fetching back last words from a loved one.
You can get anything out of the dead and they just let you leave Navara?
My gift has limitations. The dead only know what they did in life. What was clear under the sun is sometimes blurred when I revive them.
Makes sense.
Honestly, some conversations aren't worth the trouble. Death encourages obstinacy.
You didn't stop teaching just to be with us, did you?
I'm long overdue for a sabbatical. Besides, do you know how many students the faculty wanted in my class next season? 10! How's one meant to tailor separate lessons for 10 pupils at a time? Honestly.
Good to chat. I'll let you get back to your letter.
Before you go, I wanted to thank you for your company in the Memorial Gardens. There's another ceremony I have to perform there. If you'd like to visit again. Not yet, but soon.
Horrible demon ceremony or peaceful garden ceremony?
The latter, ideally.
Can do.
I'll let you know when it's time.
Any luck tracking down your mystery friend?
The Shaperit didn't like me asking about Shaper Valta. Or harassing people with talk of dwarven magic.
Wish we had time to head down there and show them what you can do.
I don't think that would have helped.
But think how satisfying it would be.
Yeah. What's satisfying about being thrown in a Deep Roads prison? Orzammar takes its heritage very seriously.
So, what now?
I was thinking, the voice said look to those closest to the stone. What if she never meant Orzammar?
Eh?
There is another great Tig, the original capital of the dwarves, Kal Shirak. It was lost during the First Blight, and its people survived in isolation for hundreds of years. They re-emerged, some 20 years ago?
And you think they're close to the stone?
Orzammar can't help. What have I got to lose?
Are you sure Orzammar isn't hiding something?
Pressing them for information would be tricky. I could anger someone important. If Kal Shirak doesn't turn out, I can go back to poking at Orzammar. But not before then.
I'm curious about Kal Shirak's isolation.
The dwarves took heavy losses during the First Blight. To stop the Darkspawn from overrunning them, they closed off passages in the Deep Roads. Those that could retreated to Orzammar. Kal Shirak was lost. They abandoned the city and its people, sealed them away with the Darkspawn.
There must have been another way. What they did was monstrous.
Can you imagine being trapped, knowing death was coming?
But they didn't die. The rumors...
That the dwarves of Kal Shirak had to change to survive? No one's really sure what that means exactly.
When we find them, you can ask. How do we get in touch with these Kal Shirak dwarves?
Already working on it. You don't spend 10 years in the Inquisition without making contacts. I should have a meeting set up by the time we're ready to leave.
Hey. Some for you. Some for you. Hey, don't be a dick. That was for the little one. Stupid birds.
Look at you feeding the birds.
My mother made me do it when I was young. Sent me out here every night with dinner scraps.
We're a ways from town.
She said I had a lot of energy to burn off. Sometimes I practice with the fire out here. It's safer. No people around. Lots of water.
Is it magic, or...?
It's not magic. My mother says the Kunari used to be closer to dragons. Something in our blood.
The Anton called you Adari?
Yeah. Old Kunari word for fire breather. A few like me are born every generation. My mother thinks Adari were meant for something special. She's always looking through the old texts for clues. Come on. Don't want to scare the birds. My mother left the Qun not far from here. She got herself transferred to Kontar from Parvalan. Smuggled me there and then walked out.
I thought Kontar was well fortified. How did she escape with the child?
The Qun isn't a prison. People can leave if they want. You little guys hungry? There's enough for all of you. Shathan was worried about what the Kunari would do with a fire breather like me.
What would they do?
She said they'd have me put in the Antam, use me as a berserker. The idea scared her enough that she left her library and walked away from the Qun. There you go. Come on. Over here's where I practice.
Why not on the beach?
Don't want to scare the birds. We just fed them. What the crap is that?
The Anton must be marking their territory.
Not on my beach. Vash Vatari! Come on. These banners need to burn.
Nice. What does it feel like when you breathe fire like that?
It's more like spitting.
Ew.
Something inside my throat opens up and lets stuff mix together. Then there's this rush of heat as I roar it out.
I'm surprised it doesn't hurt your mouth to do that.
It can. One time my tongue got in the way. Got a mouthful of fire.
Ooh, ouch.
Didn't hurt much. My mother has to make food extra spicy so I can taste it.
I guess that's the trade-off of being a fire breather.
It's fine. I smell stuff better than most people.
An on-time supply cache. Too bad it's locked up.
Not for long.
It burned right through it.
Yep. Melt some metals, not all.
How'd you figure out which kinds of metals you could melt?
My mother said I went through a lot of spoons as a baby. This way.
More birds to feed?
Something like that. Karash, it's Tosh. I brought food.
Avatosh! It's good you came early. The feather clouds are getting lower. It's going to rain. Who is this with you?
This is Rook. She's a friend.
A friend? All right. Make sure you both dress for rain. Drip rain, not mist rain.
What's the difference between drip rain and mist rain?
Drip rain soaks through the clothes. Mist rain just wets the skin. Sorry, I don't know all the words in your language.
No, I get it.
Karash was a worker caste navigator. Got dragged along with the Antam when they invaded.
They told us it was ordered by the Qun. I was not taught war. I was taught the weather. Red clouds for thunder, gray clouds for rain, green clouds for the devouring storm, and black clouds for the Antam cannons. After what they did in Ventus, I ran away.
Is there anything you need? We saw that the Anton were in the area.
Yes, I knew some of them from the Dreadnought where I worked. I know places to hide. They did not see me.
Let me know if they give you trouble.
I am at peace, Avatosh. I have the clouds to watch and fish to eat.
More than just fish. Here you go. Shathan said to eat the fruit before it spoils.
I like the cookies better.
Everyone likes the cookies better.
I'll eat the fruit. Thank you, Avatosh.
Panaheydan. I'll see you soon.
So the dragon hunter has a softer side.
The Qun says you take care of people.
So you're a little Kunari, a little Rivani, and a little dragon?
Yeah. Come on. I should tell my mother how Karash is doing. Mother, what are you doing here?
You used to call me Tama.
I also used to wet the bed. Want me to start that up again?
I'd rather you didn't. Because she's sleeping in my base, which means I own the bed. I'm actually next on laundry detail.
She always did like the mouthy ones. In truth, Evatosh's tastes are quite varied, although it is uncommon for her to be attracted to men.
Mother.
Perhaps because in some ways, she acts more like a man herself.
Why are you here?
I came to ask Karash about the tablet your group recovered. I wondered if some of the symbols might be used among the Antam.
Be gentle. Don't make him talk about the war.
I see the wisdom of your suggestion. I also see that you used your fire again. Chakra Toebra.
Chakra Toebra.
Remember to keep your consonants crisp. Kunari do not slouch, and neither does our language. Panaheydan, Evatosh. You did well bringing Karash his food.
Sorry. She's like that.
Don't let her ruin your mood. This was nice.
Yeah, it was.
was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evanurus seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Oh, I wish I could believe you. I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evanurus and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
Did Mythal call Solus love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they express things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
Being with someone you're rebelling against doesn't sound like Solus.
He also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dreadwolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor. Not sure it matters.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made us something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
If there's one thing Solus loves, it's telling people they were wrong. And here he's got the perfect opportunity. Oh, Mythal, you thought your fellow gods were so great. If only you were as smart as me.
He got her attention. She definitely seemed angry at the end.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solus says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solus wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon. Nice. The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Solus goes to Mythal, the one semi-reasonable elven god, for help, and the other gods kill her for it. I imagine the Dreadwolf's rebellion heated up significantly after that.
Right. And Mythal wasn't there to keep the other gods in check anymore.
Well, it's not just that she died. What do you mean, Tosh? It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
Okay, that's enough. Quiet now. Fine. Who wants a treat?
Me. I want one.
Well, I don't have any.
No, why'd you get my hopes up?
A little white lie to quell the riot.
Are you sure it's little to them? Yeah, Davrin, where's my treat?
Come on, guys, give me a break.
I'm sure a big strapping warden like you can handle a cat and a misfit skeleton.
What if Manfred bites?
It's probably just baby molars. This all sounds like too much fun for me.
Wait, you can't just leave me with the...
Good luck with that.
Why do you run around in fancy mage clothes?
Because I like them?
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
You fight Anton with a bare midriff.
Everything all right?
We're fine. Just trading fashion tips. So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just... Why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy?
Tosh, what's going on? Something is clearly bothering you.
My bet's on mothers and dresses.
It's just something my mother said the other day. That I act more like a man than a woman.
And you feel like you should wear dresses to make her happy?
No. Can you imagine me in a dress? I'd look stupider than I'd look stupid.
This isn't about the dress, is it?
No, it's... I don't know. She always says stuff like that. About how I dress, how I act.
And?
It feels... right. When she says I act more like a man. It feels... right. Why does it feel right?
Tosh, do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
Ah.
This is stupid. Forget I said anything.
Hey, it's not stupid. I do like being a woman, but if you don't, maybe that's something to think about.
But what does it mean?
Could be about your mother's expectations, or about how it feels to be a woman and Kunari. Or maybe it's being a woman, period.
How would knowing that help? It won't change anything.
Some of my friends in Minrathous talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. As a man, as a woman. I could see if they'd like to talk. Maybe what they say fits how you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks. You do look really pretty.
Oh?
To look at. I'd smudge your makeup.
Thanks for letting me down gently.